We're off.
Second down 6. Cover by Loa. Laces one upfield. It's Waddle once again. He's in a big game. It's a touchdown.
Tua is 100th career touchdown.
This is the Vince Spitful postgame show.
What's up, guys? What a win. Finally. What a win. Dolphins finally stopped the run. The defense came to play. We played complimentary football. Coach McDaniel with a great game plan. Rotated the running backs beautifully. We did 6 offensive linemen. We mixed in the extra offensive line. We dominated the time of possession. Things we've been begging for all season. And Tua, man, Tua looked confident. Throwing with anticipation and timing. That's the version we told you we've been waiting for that hasn't happened this year. We don't want to pat ourselves on the back. So we told you a few weeks ago, this is the kind of things Tua was doing in previous years. We couldn't figure out why he wasn't. But Dolphin fans, it feels good to say it. We earned this one. So make sure you guys come on YouTube, join us in this post-game celebration. Hit that like button, drop your reaction in the chat, comment in the video below after the show, all that good stuff. Let's break down actually how the Dolphins stunned the Falcons today. Come and join with us. We have not only, as always, my co-host and co-pilot Jason Sarney and friend of the show, of course, Sammy from Vince TV. And you never know who'll be making appearances throughout the show. But we wanted to go live with you right after the game to get your guys' thoughts. All right, I said it all on the top there, Jason. 32nd run defense versus Bijan Robinson. All the things we've been asking to do. What happened, Jason? What changed?
You know what? I don't know what was going on with the motivation or the pregame talk or the travel plans and the talk during that whole process this week. But look, they played phenomenally. Excellent defense, phenomenal offensive game plan. The running attack, 141 total yards on 37 rushes between 3 running backs. You got to love that. And early on, they established that mindset with mixing in Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon, of course. Gordon goes for 10 carries, 46 yards, had a reception touchdown score. Tua was great. Look, for my money, let's keep the visor on him for the rest of the season and his career. So this was the 5th time he's thrown for 4 or more touchdowns. He had that 6th spot against the Ravens a couple of years back. So, yeah, this was a phenomenal game, and hats off to Jordan Brooks, who was all over the field and was a dominating defensive player today.
Yeah, speaking of Jordan Brooks, our first guest of the show was you back in, Bobby? You all the way back? Let's go. What are we doing? 3-6, victory next week? It's Thursday? Talk to us, Bobby. We mentioned everything we've been asking for in this game. The complimentary football. McDaniel was in his bag, Tua with the end throwing. Did you guys see those middle screens that we did to Jonnu Smith last year? Finally back. They worked so good. And he was killing it with A-Chain. The distribution. I think we had let's read off the stats of this game before we even get going here, because the A-Chain 18 carries, Ollie Gordon 10 carries, Jalen Wright 3 carries. So that's my math does me correct. 31 rushing attempts, only 26 passing yards to 20 of 26, 205, 4 tutties. Wow. And you mentioned Jordan Brooks. And most of all, we mentioned the stats. 338 total yards versus their 213. We had 24 first downs. They had 11. Third down, we 6 out of 13, them 2 out of 11. Total plays, 65. They only had 49. We had 37 minutes, almost 38 minutes time of possession versus their 22, and penalties, only 4. That's the recipe, Bobby. You back, baby.
Read off Bijan Robinson's stats real quick.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, you good. Bijan Robinson.
9 carries, 25 yards.
5 yards. Tyler's here was pretty good too.
Hello.
4 carries, 4 yards. So, wow. Bobby, I'll ask Jason this, and I'll get to you, Sammy. Yes, Pete Guy Tua. We need Pete Tua. Whatever you did, we need Pete Guy Tua. Bobby, your thoughts on the change, everything.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I think y'all nailed it. I mean, pretty much like You know, this is how an offense is
on,
supposed to
guys?
look, right?
We're gonna have a good show. Hold on.
This is how an offense is supposed to look. I'm hoping this helps my podcast abilities because it sure the hell worked for Tua. Anyways,
We'll call you Left Eye, Bobby.
it's my left eye, but I think it flips it on the screen.
TLC action there.
Nah, but nonetheless, I mean, this is what football is supposed to look like, right? You're not supposed to have to throw it 45 times. You're not supposed to have to run it 70 times. Dude, they just took what they just lined up. Honestly, the 6 offensive lineman thing was really cool to see. Like, hey, we're going to bring the beef. It's not the best 6 offensive linemen in the world, but we're going to bring 330 pounds at you in every direction. And they committed to it. That first drive, I think we passed like twice, or the first scoring drive. Like we just really just 6, 6, 6, 6, 15, 6, 6. It was nice to see. And not to take anything away from them, but that's the game Tua needs. That's the game Tua needs to be the best quarterback he can be for us. Get a run game going. Get some play action. Hey, we got to see Tua with his back to the defense again. And what do we see? Waddle touchdown on the dig route. You got to let him just, hey, play his game. Let the run game complement the rest of the team. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, you mentioned that. We'll get to you, Sam, here, but you mentioned, and I don't want to pat myself. We got a lot of flack for that show we did a few weeks ago, but remember, Jason, when I said, throw it to Malik Washington, that's there. He's waiting. And he said on the broadcast, bro, I don't throw to receivers, I throw to spots. And he did it today. And you see, even if he's not in the dome help, by the way, but even if he's not completely healthy with the arm strength, his superpower is throwing it before everybody else knows where it's going in that placement. And he did it today.
Shit.
Well, we got breaking news.
Breece Hall just threw a touchdown to Mason Taylor to take the lead last minute against the Bengals.
Oh, yeah, I got the game on. What a crazy game that is. But anyways, Sammy, your thoughts?
Oh, Tua with one eye can become Tua Pirate for all I care because listen, listen. If you ever shoot a gun or something like that, shooting with one eye, blinking or stuff, is not the same as doing it with 2 eyes. When you blink, the aim is different. So kudos to Tua to find a way to it's not easy to do what he did. If we would have had a bad game, we were saying it's excuses and stuff, but he powered through. And the run defense, with so many things, many people saying that even us sometimes Bijan Robinson maybe in for a record-breaking game against the Dolphins running defense to be held to 2.7 yards per carry at 25 yards for 9 carries. That's outstanding defense. The defense were playing hard. They were playing to the whistle, and that's why the reason the Dolphins won today. If not, they would have lost, but they found a way to stop the run, and that's why they won the game.
Yeah, I kind of want to get into all these. And shout out to, we got over 100 people in here already. Guys, make sure you come over to YouTube. Hit the like button. Share it with your friends. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. Come join the post-game celebration here. We're with Bobby from the Dive Bar, Finn Sammy from Finn's TV, and of course, you all know Jason Sarney, whose hat and polos in the mail. Should get there any moment now.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail. Check's in the mail. Right. Yeah, I got you. I'm waiting.
I promise. I want to get to all those things. I want to get to all those things that happened in the game because go ahead, Sammy.
No, I'm just really just saying. I just promise that you made me crack up with that. I promise.
Wow, we get to smile and laugh on this one. This is
yes.
This is interesting. This is a different one. I don't even know how to react.
Well, we'll laugh before, but not like this. It's a different kind of laugh today.
Happy laughing, not sad laughing.
Yes.
Major difference.
I think this is all good news. Like, there's no way to be mad about a complete game. Like, we haven't seen. This is better than the Rams last year. This was a true defense on point every series, never let up. Yes. There's nothing to complain about. They didn't have a relapse on special teams where it's like, oh, that was kind of cheap. Dude, it was incredible. I think, though, before you can really, you go win Thursday night with Lamar Jackson back, you could talk about football again. We can relook at the playoff picture. Until then, though, this was just an awesome Sunday that wasn't a heartbreaking Sunday, Yeah,
and look, big picture-wise, things might not have changed for you. That's okay. But This game is good to see, especially the young guys. Give it up for Jonas and Brian Naya.
Take your victory now, George.
Yeah, he had a great game.
Hey, he made some key blocks. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Hopefully this is
hopefully really, I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I don't want to get a little off track of what this season could be, should be, whatever. But this is eerily similar right now at this exact moment to 2021. I'm going to say it because I have to. Hey, look, I love my stats.
Let's go.
I'm going to say it.
This is positive day. Yeah,
because the Dolphins in 2021 had a 7-game losing streak. And then they walloped the Houston Texans and had a short turnaround on Thursday night against, guess who? The Baltimore Ravens. And they rattled off 7 wins in a row, sorry. And of course, they finished 9-8. They missed the playoffs. But now here, we go on the road, we wallop an Atlanta Falcons team, and on Thursday, who do we have? The Baltimore Ravens. And to me, I like when things set up like that. I'm not saying this team is going to rattle off 7 more games in a row, but it was extremely nice to see. You guys say it all the time in the dive bar and through the tweets, complimentary football. Everything was working, and you're doing this without significant players, without Tyreek Hill. You're doing this without Darren Waller. And Tua was phenomenal. The defense was phenomenal. So, as Bobby mentioned, let's see if this really translates into beating Lamar Jackson, because that game in 2021, I believe Jacoby Brissett started that game, and then Tua entered that game, and that place erupted with just loudest pop or loudest cheers. It was almost like you're in a Royal Rumble and somebody came back from a 15-year absence. So I think that, Hard Rock hopefully should be rocking. It's nice to get a win. I don't want to hear about tanking or anything like that. It's too early. It's very nice to get a W. And let's see what they can do with this. Let's see if they can put on a little bit of a win streak here.
I think this is one thing I will say. I'm going to lay off the fire people train for a minute, because clearly I'll say this. Chris Greer is still in the hot seat because he still has to answer for some of his sins. That doesn't change. But I will say this, and this, I think, clears that up more than anything. This team did not quit on McDaniel. They did not quit on Weaver. And I thought they did. I was person pounding the table for that. You don't come out and play out of nowhere for no reason a full complimentary football game like this if you've quit. This does not happen. It takes everything to pull off a game like this. So I'm going to take a seat on the firing coaches train for a little while, and I think we all should step back. Now, hey, 3 weeks from now, we could be right back in the same scenario, but McDaniel has not lost that locker room, which is interesting because those reports came out yesterday about he hasn't really lost the whole team. Maybe there's some friction between Tua and him, but I'm going to hold back a little bit on that because they clearly, he still has the team clearly, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. Sammy, do you have something to say or?
No. By the way, they just won the game for that for sure. What Bobby said before. So, for those who want the tanking, they just won. So you're still in the running.
You chose the right word with tanking, and we got a different form of it right now. Speaking of
tanking, our weekly segment, live from outside the Devils. Did they win in overtime, Frank? Huh?
Yeah, the Devils won. All I saw was it was 34-10. What the hell happened today? I mean, a lot of Falcons. Yeah, it must be torturous to be a Falcon fan. They go out, they kill the Bills.
Yeah.
And then they get crushed by the Dolphins.
Frank, you might have to go to more Devil games during the Dolphins season.
I'm happy to see a smile. We have two.
Smile, Frank.
I mean,
win. What a day.
I mean, I should go to more. Watch the Devils instead of the Dolphins, and it's good luck.
Yeah.
You had a date with the devil, so you can. So the Dolphins get a victory. I mean, Frank, I know you were at the game. Did you get to see much of it on your?
No, I didn't.
Well, you missed a lot of good stuff that you didn't. They finally ran the ball, Frank. They stopped Bijan Robinson, 9 carries, 25 yards. McDaniel.
The one play I saw was when Bijan Robinson fumbled.
Yeah. Bijan wasn't bygone. You know what I mean? Like you said he would be.
I mean, it must be torturous to be a Falcon fan.
Get some positive news here. It feels good, Frank. At least,
yes, it does. But I want to lose. I want draft picks. I want to be the top 5.
We got time for that. We still got.
On the bright side, Frank, the Jets won too, so they're right there with us.
The Jets won.
They beat the Bengals.
Yeah, they beat the Bengals.
There you go. There's just some good news to sleep on tonight.
But I mean, look, this wasn't like a Drew Lock performance where you ruined the Giants' potential of getting a top. You know what I mean? It's too early for hoping for loss. It feels good to win one, doesn't it, Frank?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The Falcons are such a weird team. You know, you should thank me because I bet the Falcons this week. If I bet the Falcons to win, they lose. If I bet the Falcons to lose, they win. It never fails.
We had to create something, a segment like Tell Frank and get him just to reverse jinx the rest of the season.
Well, it only works with the Falcons.
You're doing the
I've
opposite.
lost 46 consecutive bets with the Atlanta Falcons.
Holy shit.
I got my new phone, so I can't even see you guys. I haven't figured out how to use this thing fully, but
You look beautiful.
So I know we won't keep you on too long, Frank. I know you're just at the game, but
yeah, I'm walking to my car right now. But I just thought I'd check in and see how the hell did they beat the Falcons 34-10.
I will say this, Frank. I think when you get a chance to sit down and relook at the game, if you rewatch it,
it was impressive.
It really was impressive. It was a complete defense, offense. No one took a play off. It really didn't make any sense. Like you're saying, I don't know what the hell showed up today, but Tua with pink eye is a different animal.
And he had pink eye?
Yes.
One eye was closed shut.
Left eye was swollen.
Tua had one eye.
Oh my God, the Falcons.
Threw 4 touchdowns.
Oh, well, I'm in a survivor league. The longest I've ever survived. I'm dead. You know why? Because I took the Falcons.
Thank you, Mickey D's, for the $5 super chat.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm dead.
4 touchdowns for 2. Wow.
I mean, they're a joke. I mean, I bet you that coach gets fired this week.
They're 3-4. They're 3-4.
It's so nice to be on the other side for 1 week at least.
Yeah, 1 week.
I mean, the Atlanta Falcons. It's comical. It's laughable.
No, I didn't have this on my bingo card. I don't think any.
I don't think anyone thought they said on the bingo card. And the Jets winning today too. I mean, what a weird game. What a weird day.
Braylon, what is it? What happened, Bobby? Braylon Allen threw a touchdown to Mason Taylor.
Brees Hall. Brees Hall threw a touchdown off a toss to Mason Taylor.
Yeah, by the way, the Bengals. By the way, on my fantasy teams, I took up the Falcons defense this week. On my fantasy team.
You went all in with Atlanta.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. You were
4 touchdowns for 2. Wow.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns.
I mean, the Atlanta Falcons.
Let me give you some of the stats. Tua was 20 of 26, 205, 4 touchdowns. A-Chain 18 for 67.
I see you.
And then Waddle.
Hey.
Yeah, Waddle almost had 100 yards. Tua was a lot better, Frank. When you go down and sit back and watch the game, but we appreciate.
Hey, how's it going?
Get to your car, man. Safe. We appreciate.
All right, I'll see you I'll see you on Thursday.
Thursday night. Post game. Frank the Tank's here. All right, brother. Thank you,
2
man.
wins in 5
All right,
days.
talk to you later.
Have a good one.
Wait, well, George, you joined France Walks, that's the story.
Everybody, where are you at? Come on over to the YouTube broadcast. Stop watching these other post-game shows, man. This is the place to be. Share the broadcast. Come on over and join us. We got Bobby for the Dive Bar, Finn Sammy for Finn's TV, Jason Sarney, and shout out again, Mickey D's. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I never asked for him, but I've started saying we accept it. Again, guys, this is not going in my pocket. This is to help just pay for the cost of the show.
And to help George send me my hat and my polo.
Yeah, it's on the way, I promise.
It's for the Sarney Fund.
Thank you, Mickey. You paid for postage, Mickey. Thank you.
It's gonna be funny. You finally got some funds, and George is just gonna show up in a different colorway.
Wow, man, I forgot how good this is to do it after a win. This is much different.
This is magical.
It really is.
I feel like we're on Bobby, this feels like we were doing the draft live.
Oh man, better times. All hopium, you can sell anything in draft
season. Let's talk about the
season.
young guys. Let's talk about him. Dante Trader Jr. looked good.
He did.
Look, again, I have to go back and watch the film, but from what I see, Jonah played well. I saw a few plays highlighted, but what did he do in the other plays? Looked like he played well. I'm sure there's a few mistakes. This clearly was his best game. Kenneth Grant, did you guys notice anything negative on Kenneth Grant? Jordan Phillips played well. So again, we talk about that. Maybe this is big. We talk about we want draft picks, but if we can win like this, look, this game's not going to determine if Mike McDaniel's coming back next year. I don't think that, right? Like, unless they go on this spectacular run the rest of the season. But it's good to win, and your young players play well because they haven't, right? Jason, your thoughts on the young kids this game? Your guy, Trader Jr.
Trader Jr. had a couple of really phenomenal plays. He had, remember, he's got that lacrosse background. So the play in which he broke up a pass with just a leveled hit, it was picture perfect to break up the pass, to make a clean football play and use that lacrosse knowledge on how to actually just lay the wood on somebody. So I was really happy to see Trader Jr. step up. Really want to go back and look at how Phillips and Grant did when we, rewatched the game a couple of days. But very, very happy with how Ollie Gordon played. If you give this kid 10 rushes, look at what happens. I mean, he helped set up the pass. As Kevin Harlan said in the broadcast, a quarterback's best friend is a running game. So, you got to love what Gordon did. 4.6 yards per carry. Really great stuff all around. And Jonah was mentioned a couple of times in the broadcast. He had a couple of great blocks to spring Achane on some nice runs.
Yeah. Sammy, your thoughts on the young kids?
Well, first of all, what a difference Kevin Harlan calling the game makes, right? It makes it so enjoyable.
Especially on a Waddle touchdown pass, you know what I mean?
A Waddle touchdown, a nice lead, so it was very, very, very good. Oh, of course, Ollie Gordon played very well. He was clutch during the run the ball, and Jalen Wright, they complemented each other. 3 running backs running, that was the best part of the day. A couple of drops. That's expected. A Waddle drop. That passes on the Waddle drop. That's coming every 2 to 3 weeks. But overall, I think that the young players play well. George, go take your victory lap because you've been waiting the whole season for your victory lap in Savanea. So go.
Wait, I always say this.
Your best Barry Harwood's impression, and you pat yourself in the back.
I don't know if that's a victory lap or he could just come up for air.
Wait a minute. But here's the thing. Since Bobby wants to talk, I don't rate it. I don't rate it based on Savanea. Go look at the whole board where it was ranked. That's how I rate a draft. I do a draft of 150 players, 32 teams.
You know that's your guy. I said that they won.
Easy, dude. I'm just talking. I'm just going off what Sammy said.
Hey. All right.
I stand by it, damn it.
I'm a big Jonah guy. I'll stand by that. No. I'm not coming to Georgia. I love Jonah Savana. I thought that was an awesome pick. I wanted it.
I said he got to be benched. I stand on. Nobody's right all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you want to be right, but yeah, he played a lot better. I couldn't understand how bad he was playing. I still can't figure it out. And I don't know actually how good overall he played. So
maybe he's finally adjusting to the switch of a side, which is a factor. I don't care what anybody says; it's a freaking factor.
Yeah, I know you've been on that.
I think the FBI is going to pay Kirk Cousins a visit after today.
Yeah, man.
Nobody is that confused. They had crazy miscommunications out there today, and that's a 10-year vet.
Look, let's be honest too. I mean, no, we're not taking anything away from the Dolphins. They did. They took this game. They earned it. But Blake London being out and Kirk Cousins and Penix was a difference. But they earned this victory. I don't want to hear the excuse those guys are out. They had the right game plan, and I want to go through those things. First of all, we'll start with you, Bobby. Mike McDaniel's game plan. He stuck with the run finally. Didn't stop. Adjust. Didn't go things that weren't working, but kept running. I thought this was McDaniel's best game plan, probably since they won versus the Jets. That game, what do you know? The 2 wins are the 2 best game plans. But I thought McDaniel was in his bag, Bobby.
Yeah, McDaniel was in his bag. Like I said, man, he just kept taking it from the defense. Setting it up. I think even that one, if y'all remember the tip pass that almost got intercepted, that was a touchdown.
Yeah, Achane would have had that. Achane would have had that.
The defense blew by the entire play. If Tua could get that, maybe he couldn't see him. But if Tua hits him, I'm talking about walks in. Achane is just like he might check Twitter on the way to the end zone. It was insane. So look, I'm very happy with the results. Also, another thing, I tweeted about this. We've seen good first halves all year, and then the second half, we just get boat raced. So my thing was, I'm really happy at halftime, but let's make the adjustments. Let's counterattack and let's go. Let's finish this shit. Do not let up. And dude, they came out in the second half, went right back to them boys, hit Waddle for the touchdown. Defense never gave up anything. Nothing to be mad about. And since I didn't get to touch on the rookie class, I think Kenneth Grant played great. I think as a collective, the defense bought in. Obviously, that helped everybody because you don't hold Bijan to 25 yards or whatever it was without a collective effort. Like the defense had a new mentality today. I think that was clear. But also, I want to say, dude, Jordan Phillips plugs the run game. Yeah. That kid is strong, dude.
That's that country young man strength he's got, you know.
Yeah, Jordan Phillips is an absolute problem. He flashes. It's not a matter of if. Jordan Phillips stands out multiple plays a game. Trader, I think he's just one of those dudes. He already has it between the ears like a 10-year vet. It's just got to come to him a little bit more. But look, they were taking shots down the field, and we were just always in position. Even the DPI on Rasul Douglas, I was kind of like, like he ran the route for the guy. He was leading him out for the pass. Like I was like, I can't even be mad about that. I think that, I mean, there just wasn't much to complain about today, honestly.
No, there wasn't. And we talk about Trader. I always said, Jason, we talked about during the draft that, look, he doesn't have the top end speed, but you can see out there he's a yard or two ahead of everybody because he already sees it. And I don't know why he didn't play those last game with the snap count. He should have been out there. But yeah, again, Jason, your thoughts on Mike McDaniel's game plan?
It was phenomenal. You know, I mean, I was looking on Twitter and a lot of people were saying, is this a Frank Smith game plan? Did he take the reins? I mean, I don't care. The whole game plan was phenomenal. It worked as a team, as an offense, whatever Mike McDaniel was either calling or delegating, it was working. And to not deviate from it, as Bobby mentioned in the second half, the Dolphins have habitually been terrible out of the locker room. Horrible point differential. So they come out, they fix nothing wasn't working. But when you come out of the locker room, you have to stick with what's working and fix what is not working. So they kept the foot on the gas. My dog agrees.
That's right. We brought the dogs out today. So
it's Atlanta. Who let the dogs out?
His dog's watching the Dolphins highlights.
But real quick on Trader Jr., you know, he has the cerebral ability. He was called by his head coach, Mike Loxley at Maryland, when he actually had a podcast with Travis Wingfield. He basically said he's the quarterback of the secondary. He's a guy who could really understand the game. He doesn't necessarily need the top-end attributes physically or the speed. But I think this is a terrific starting point for Trader Jr., and I think we're going to see him ascend his game in the next couple of weeks. I'm excited to see what's to come with him.
Sammy, you like the game plan, right? I know Mike's best is the Jets game.
Absolutely. After last week, after the debacle it was, after everything, one of the worst Dolphins losses ever, and probably Tua Tagovailoa's worst game ever. Both Mike McDaniel and Tua came back strong, and they committed to the run. They stuck to the run because sometimes they start committed, but as the game goes by, they kind of go away from it. So I'm glad they stuck with the run, and it worked because Tua, when he has a running game, Tua can be saved from taking those hits, and every so often that he's pressing and he takes the back hit. So it was a great game for the Dolphins. It was a great game plan. We'll have to wait and see in 4 days rest how Tua and McDaniel can plan bounce back. But for today, it's all good.
Yeah, you talked about in Dolich. Let's talk about your boy Hayden Rucci. With Ingo getting hurt for a little bit, he came in. I want to talk about bringing in Daniel Brunskill, the sixth. Why haven't we done that? We haven't done it all season. The first 42 plays, he was in 8 times. I think it might have been a blessing in disguise. We had no tight ends because it finally forced McDaniel. I like when they have these big packages. I like when they throw. I love when they throw. If you look, Waddle's always open in 22 personnel play action throws, and I love when they throw even out of the big packages, even with the Brunskill in. But talk about that because I think that's one thing. Bobby, I was surprised they finally went to it. It's something we've been talking about. They went to an extra offensive line. You saw it. They just said, we're going big here.
Yeah, they were running the ball so damn much. There was times I was like, okay, stop running the damn ball.
No,
it's
not me.
I'm like, keep running. They ran the ball on 2nd and 12 so many times for 2 yards.
It worked.
And it's just like, it is what it is. Yeah, you couldn't be mad at it because we've bitched so much the other way, right? I think that I made a joke early in the game in our group that they were like, man, this 6 offensive lineman thing's working. Holy hell, McDaniel. I was like, the crazy thing is like, where has this been? I was like, the crazy part is he's probably only doing it because we're forced finally. Like, it's like, don't get me wrong, it worked, but I do believe they kind of ran out of choices here. It was like, all right, look, we're missing this, we're missing that. Tua's got one eye. We're gonna have to do this, but we're gonna have to do this today, boys. And like, I think it just impacted like the preparation. When you know there's 6 guys coming downhill on you, you don't come off the ball as hot. You take a step back as a defensive lineman. You're waiting for that pulling guard. Like there was times Brunskill came from the other side in motion and absolutely missed everything. But you have to think about that though. There's a guy 330 coming across your face, full speed every play. Like that takes people back. Now you're getting 2 yards before you're touched. Now you got Ollie Gordon. By the way, shout out Ollie Gordon. Welcome to the offense.
Welcome to the NFL, son.
I thought I was in a twilight zone for a little bit. I was like, God, we fell for another preseason star. Yeah. And dude, Ollie Gordon is the real deal. Running the ball, catching the ball, touchdowns, big plays. You don't want to see a guy like Ollie Gordon coming at you after the team ran the ball all game come the fourth quarter. You don't want to see that.
You don't want to see 6 offensive linemen leaning on you a lot of the times all game too. And shout out to everybody in the chat. We have almost 300 people in total. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you guys come over to YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, and hit that thumbs up. We're breaking down a post-game celebration with Finn Sammy, Finn's TV, Bobby from the Dive Bar, and obviously Finn Faithful's own Jason Sarney. All right. I want to talk about the 6 offensive linemen, but also I'm going to bring more. With Jason, I'm going to bring this to you. Not only the 6 offensive linemen, but they finally rotated back and they used A-chain. That's middle screen. Do you remember them running that with Jonu last year, Bobby? Because I know you're a big Jonu guy, but they ran that same. It always worked, especially in the red zone.
They love that back bending angle, delayed angle route. They run that with A-chain a lot too, so
but
it just works.
I remember with Jonah, they haven't done that a lot this year, have they? They send somebody in motion, fake, and then he already knows where he's going. And kind of A-chain does that little quick slant into middle screen, if you want to call it, or back end screen into Ollie Gordon. But Jason, that and the rotating the backs of the 6 offensive linemen, finally we see it, huh?
Power football component with the 6 linemen. And I've said it, we've said it throughout this show this season. Yeah. I would love to see one of the running backs and A-chain on the field at the same time more often. We saw that. And more importantly, A-chain and Wright, they didn't necessarily have phenomenal rushing statistics, but part of them with Gordon helped set up the pass. And what we also saw was getting Malik Washington a little bit more vertical on his routes, which was great. Of course, he scored a touchdown, which allows me to bring up my stat that I've been waiting a month on.
Yes.
With that reception touchdown, he becomes the 5th Miami Dolphins wide receiver to score a rushing touchdown, a special teams return touchdown, and now a reception. Funny, as a receiver, he uses the reception as the last touchdown, but he joins Ted Ginn, Jarvis Landry, Jakeem Grant, and Freddie Solomon as the 5 to have accomplished that. So he's in a nice little fraternity there. And it took him the least amount of games than all those people. So Malik Washington, get him vertical, help him complement the run game. And look, I liked what I saw of this offense, and I hope that they can continue it and not take a step back against the Baltimore Ravens. 30-plus rushes Thursday night, 1,000%.
Yeah, and you guys know how long Jason's been holding on to that stat.
Since the Patriot game.
That was a saved tweet. So that was more saved than the statement.
I was so excited. I didn't even go back into my drafts. I composed it new. I was like,
wait a minute. No. I got to give credit to Jason because he's been on that and waiting for it to happen. But that was as premeditated as tweet as the statement Stephen Ross had ready to go last year at the end of the year.
I was
job,
ready to roll on that one.
Great job. Sammy, the 6 offensive linemen, run, right? I know what Bobby said. I said run it.
First of all, anytime you have a chance to mention Dolphins great Freddie Solomon, it's a pleasure.
Was that on anybody's bingo card on the Finn's face?
No.
Never.
Shout out to Freddie.
Never. I'm glad they run the ball just because of the fact that they have to establish a run. When you have to, out there throwing interceptions, getting pressure, even when you're losing, you have to find a way to run the ball. And like I said before, Mike McDaniel sometimes has a nice lead and he goes away from the run, and that was problem starts. So they committed to the run. The six offensive linemen tried to run the ball. Julian Hill being out probably had a lot to do with that, but I'm glad because they found a way. It kept the defense off balance as to where they were running, and they found a way. And again, I had to say it. Sabanea was mentioned a couple of times, even in the broadcast, because he was doing things right, and we were spending the whole season for that. So it's a nice development for the Dolphins for sure.
And the thing is, Bobby, you mentioned 2nd and 12. Oh, they ran, only got 2 yards, but A-Chain, look, he was 18 for 67. 3.7 yards carry, but they still went to it. They gave it to Gordon 10 times as well. So and look what it did. Did you see when they expect you to run a ball, those linebackers come in and play action, shit opened up. And Tua was throwing to that spot. He was throwing the darts. We said it. I took a lot of flack on that Tua episode. All right, a lot of flack. Hey, but I did the wind horse. You know what I mean? I took a lot of flack in that Tua episode. But
hey, you still talking about that shit, dude?
Yeah.
Hey, George lost sleep on that one.
Hey. When I talk, listen, son. When I speak, listen. Okay, Bobby, you've learned a few things from me. Don't worry, I know that. So, all right, that was a good time. That was a good time to mention we are sponsored. This great post-game show is sponsored. My favorite part of the show. I know you guys love this. So, yes, we are sponsored by Rescue Tech 305 IT Services. Call Mike at 305-504-TECH. That's 305-504-8324. Or email them at mike@rescuetech305.com or visit the website, rescuetech305.com. Let Rescue Tech IT Services, let them know Vince Faithful sent you. They'll hook you up on a good deal. We appreciate them sponsoring. All right. So another thing I want to get into, because there's so many things that I want to look at. Bobby, who mentioned on our Saturday show time of possession? Like all the things that we needed to do, time of possession. You realize that we scored 17 points in the first half? Do you know the number of first half points we scored all season? Was that correct? Was it 20? Is that true? It's hard for me to believe that. But more than that, defensively, what do you think was the big difference on the run defense? Like, Jason, what was the difference this game? Was it an adjustment by Weaver, or just, they sold out on it, or the personnel? Steeler was a lot better in this game. What do you think was the difference? Again, I'll have to go back and watch it, but what was the difference? Because they were aggressive. They were feeling themselves. What do you think was the big difference in the run defense stopping one of the better backs in football?
Listen, it could have been a combination of a lot of things. Coaching, players stepping up, playing for their coaches during the adversity, knowing they're going up against one of the elite running backs in Bijan Robinson. And look, from what you guys say, I need to really analyze how a run stopper in the trenches like a Jordan Phillips really took away plays and really played. You noticed Zach Sealer on a couple plays was vintage Zach Sealer getting in. He made a big stop for a tackle for loss. But I think, as mentioned, this locker room, save maybe a few people who might be upset, whatever, they have not quit on their coaching staff. And that was shown today all over the place. And when you're stopping a top 4 or top 3 running back in the league, holding them for literally nothing, essentially, I give credit all the way around, from coaching every one of those defenders, every one of those front line players. So combination of things for me for the moment.
Yeah. I'll ask you the same question, Sammy. What did you see different besides them actually just stopping the run? Because they're the biggest thing on their 1-6 record. We can talk about a lot of things too, but it's their awful defense and run defense. And that changed today, Sammy. What caught your eye? Jordan Brooks was spectacular. Finally, we get on him because he has a lot of tackles because the defensive line poor play, but this wasn't the case. This was a game where he attacked the line of scrimmage.
Dog.
Sammy, your thoughts? You're mute.
Sorry.
Sam must have been cooking because they put him on mute.
So, hi, Steve. I put a hat on. I thought during the preseason, I told Bobby, I expected Jordan Brooks to be the defensive player for the Dolphins. And He's not 100%. You can see his arm and everything, but the guy is a dog for sure. And there have been a couple of games that the Dolphins have played hard, played through the whistle. Today was one of those games they play so hard. Curtis here. Hi, Curtis.
Hey guys.
They play hard, and it showed. They played to the whistle. The spacing was better, and when they do that, they have a chance because it's been questioned if they quit. If Weaver lost the defensive team and if McDaniel lost the team today, there's no more talk about it today because Dolphins for sure play hard, especially in defense for Weaver. They play really, really hard.
Curtis, what's going on, man? We didn't think about this on Saturday, huh? Curtis, Jonah, Curtis.
he had a decent game. He had a decent game. Let's not get crazy. He had a decent game.
Hold on, Bobby. Before you go, Bobby got what is that quote you got from Jordan Brooks? Drop it to us.
So we're just talking about Jordan Brooks in the run game and what might have changed, what clicks. You never know what goes on behind closed doors, right? So shout out to Marcel Louis Jacques. He just posted Jordan Brooks is at the podium right now. Jordan Brooks said, matchups like today have him licking his chops, entering game day because he respects the challenge of a player like Bijan. Brooks said Miami's focus this week was putting a target, a bullseye on number 7, and credited his teammates a full group effort. There you have it.
There it is. That's it.
No. Curtis, I did say I got to watch the whole film on Jonah. Best game for Jonah, but in general, your thoughts on the game and Jonah. Curtis, Jonah.
Well, look, I never thought Mike McDaniel would figure out how to win modern football. I mean, you had 27 passes, 37 rushes to 31 and 17. I've talked about the attempts meaning so much and running inside. I just never, ever. They're the 19th best run defense. They got a small front. I never, ever thought Mike McDaniel would figure it out. He's been here 3 years, is going on his 4th year, and he did. And to his credit, bringing in the 6 offensive linemen and attacking a small front. I just never, ever thought he would do it. I figured he would do what he always did. It was smart, and it was the thing that kept the defense off the field. I mean, look, they didn't have London. They had Cousins and all that other stuff. But we held the ball. We bashed him in the face. We played the type of football, pass balance, physicality, hitting him inside that the league has been screaming for years. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm the happiest today than I've been in a long time because it was the right way to win. If we had done this in 22 and 23, you could see you don't need Hill and Waddle. You just need one of them. Get yourself an offensive line. Look, the offensive line won today. But against all the matchups, it might not be the same. But if you had a very good offensive line or a pretty good offensive line and a pretty good tight end who could do this in other matchups, just think what we could have done all these years. Instead of going fumble, instead of going outside zone, this was beautiful. We didn't just beat them in the scoreboard. We beat the soul out of them. We took their will to live. And that is the most tasty kind of win. I don't like these big, throw the big play touchdowns. I love stealing their soul. And this is what we did to win our Super Bowls. And I could feel their soul running through my TV into me. I felt invigorated. I felt alive. It was beautiful. And you could see, even with Tua, look, he's a piece of the puzzle. But we were blitzed. Listen, guys, we were blitzed 48% of the time, only 22% pressure, which was offset a lot by him and his quick throws. But we ran 20, almost 30% play actions, legitimate play actions. We were 5 for 5 over the middle. Those blitzes, the creeping, the belief in the run game opened everything up. And Tua was able to do what he can do, is be a piece of the puzzle when you attach it with a soul-stealing running attack. We got it to even see Wright, the abominable snowman who's married to Elvis. He came in and showed up. This was beautiful.
If you guys are not watching our Saturday Game Day show, this is what you miss. The literature segment at the end, and Curtis intensity.
I saw that. That was also on the card.
If you guys are not watching that, you have to. But yeah,
I'm
Curtis,
a jackass, but I try.
Yeah. Curtis, we talk about this is what you build a team. What's supposed to look like around Tua, not the flash of the 5'9", 4'3" receivers.
He's not Dan Marino.
Yeah. Here's the thing: the six offensive linemen they brought in. They only did it. We mentioned it. We probably did it because we had 2 tight ends out. But hey, hello. But we did it. And the big physical, I love even throwing out of those big packages.
Yep.
Waddle's always open in the 22 personnel package. And I mentioned that earlier. But Tua also, give him credit. He went back to throwing before the guy was open. Boom, boom, play action. Because he felt confident. He felt the running game. Curtis, this is what we're talking about. This is what's so mind-blowing. This is probably honestly why Chris Spears done a lot of bad things. But this is why he should be fired mostly. Is because the way he built the team around it, and a lot has to do with McDaniel. I don't want to get too negative today because it's a win.
Well, think about this. Tua usually gets about 22% blitzes.
And
right?
they blitz on third down. I mentioned that. That first, I was like, oh, no, this is going to happen. They are the most team that blitzes on all. We talked about it on Saturday. All situations, third short, medium, long. The Dolphins, the offensive line picked it up. And, of course, them going up big, helped.
Well, so 48%. So almost 1 out of every 2 throws was a depleted secondary. So he was throwing into basically depleted secondaries 50% of the time. And that's something he doesn't see. And when you add it all in, they didn't know if he was going to pass. They didn't know if we were going to run. And when you beat them down, you force them to change their leverage. It makes Tua very, very viable. And it was beautiful. I mean, did you see Achane running hard inside? Did you see Ollie Gordon stealing their bodies, beating them, breaking tackles? It was gorgeous. This was so sexy of a football game. It made me want to believe because this. I'm not saying for the future, but guys, this should be Miami Dolphins football. It should have been Miami Dolphins football for the last 15 years of Greer, and it was just for this moment. It shows the possibilities because this is a portable offense. I don't think with the talent we have it is, but it shows you the potential. It was beautiful.
What the recipe looks like if it's done right. What the end result of the play could be instead of, putting too much of this and too much of that. It looks good. But the time was it the defense. How did you look? Because I know you have a really good eye of seeing. I watch 1 or 2 things, and I got to go back and watch the game, Curtis.
I was drinking this game, dude. Forget about it. I started seeing him running the football inside. I said, holy cow.
I thought about you a lot in this game, man.
I don't have a drink, dude. I don't drink. I just had something there. I said, I'm going for it, man. I don't do it.
White Claw on it. A little day drinking.
Keep my old fat self thin.
Hey, make sure you do that on Saturday mornings. I want to see that White Claw on Saturday.
It's so beautiful. Guys, just think about those 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. All that stuff was just so wonderful. We hadn't seen it. We literally maybe once or twice in almost 4 years. And it was amazing.
Shout out to the over 360 people we have watching on all platforms. You're watching on X? Come on YouTube with us. Get in the chat. Ask questions for it. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the little bell. Subscribe. We appreciate it. It's a celebration. You see us laughing and smiling. It's a big difference. I know we want to talk about taking, man, but damn, and I even talk about it, but damn, Bobby, this feels good, brother. And we believe this is why we love this team. We have to stay objective, and we, once the kind of the hopium kind of runs out, and tomorrow morning and all that stuff, we'll be objective. But it's fun now, and it just. I want to go to you, Sammy. I've never seen anything. I've never seen a game where every single thing that they've been doing wrong has gone right. Can you give me why this is happening? This always baffles me about the Dolphins. Is why did it take so long to do? All of us on this screen, we all have different podcasts, have talked about all these things. This is what blows my mind. What triggered Mike in this game? Was it the injuries, you think?
The Bizarro Dolphins, because everything was backward for sure. But listen, when you get beat like they got beat last week, this is what you expect from a team to bounce back. If you have pride, if you're playing for your coach, for your teammates, if you got embarrassed, this is what you're supposed to do. So credit to the Dolphins for doing what they were supposed to do, what I personally didn't expect them to do. I did not have any faith in the Dolphins winning today, for sure. I had the Falcons winning big, but this is what you expect the team to do when you're against the wall, you get beaten, and you expect them to bounce back. So kudos to Mike McDaniel, kudos to Anthony Weaver, kudos to Tua, because they did what they had to do. They bounced back for one of the worst losses ever in Dolphins history.
Yeah, Jason, I know you had a quote you wanted to read from Tua from Tua on the 6 offensive linemen.
Yeah, shout out to Hussam Patel. He's great. He does great work over on Twitter. He posted a quote from Tua on having Daniel Brunskill in as the 6th lineman, and I quote, "Finding it more comfortable than having a fast tight end, not to diminish anyone's skill set." Now, this is exactly, because this is a case where Tua's maybe saying,
hey, but you know what? I can swallow it after a 4 touchdown.
I know. Listen, you can say whatever you want after this kind of game, but what Tua is saying, and it's funny that he used the word comfortable. George, what was the word that I was using in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season? Tua looked uncomfortable. Yeah. So you have Julian Hill out, and your option is Tanner Connor as a fast tight end, right? Tanner Connor. But what the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel decided to do was put in a power component with the 6th offensive lineman, and look at the run game. Look at what it set up for Tua. Comfortable, shoot, hell yeah. He looked dynamite comfortable. Like everything was working for him. So do this more. I mean, why not? Let's see if they continue to do this.
Yeah. The thing with Tua is he's always going to say something. But like we said, when you're producing and you score 4 touchdowns and you win 34-10,
you're going to say whatever you want.
Whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? That's reading the room well. It's when you lose 34-10, you throw 3 picks, and you say some stupid crap like that. But again, I want to ask you all you guys, the tight end in this offense has been overrated as far as pass cut. Bobby, you agree or not agree? Like the pass catching tight end, I think is a little bit overrated in this offense. With anybody disagree on it? I'll start with you, Bobby, and anybody who's to jump in. Does this signal maybe we're looking at the wrong thing at the tight end position?
Maybe. I mean, look, when Darren Waller's catching 2 touchdowns, it's obviously a luxury. But when you don't have it and you have a wrinkle that obviously recency bias looks incredible, 6 offensive linemen was a win today. It's easy to say. I don't know. I feel like if you still could have a George Kittle, you'd have a George Kittle. You know what I mean? Yeah,
or Tyler Warren.
Now, yes, I do think we discovered we don't absolutely have to handcuff ourselves and have 2 tight ends out there and have these guys out there because you can get away with it because you have options. And that's something they didn't know before today. Whether that's because they have injuries or not, they figured that out today. So we'll see if it stays Thursday. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of who you got, right? Obviously, everybody isn't lucky enough to have George Kittle who can fucking knock your linebacker in the dirt and catch a 60-yard touchdown, obviously. So I'm not saying that just grows on trees, but I was just glad to see them figure it out, right? So that's more of the win for me, is that they did come up with a wrinkle for whatever reason, and they stuck to the wrinkle, and they wrinkled that ass.
Well, hey, it's okay. We can bump our chest.
Poetic right there.
It's not. Look, it's not. I totally agree with Bobby. And the thing is, it's not absolutely portable. Like the 6 linemen against this defense was perfect. It was like kryptonite. But it's not going to be absolutely portable. But the philosophy is totally portable. The philosophy of running that football inside, creating bounds, working off the play action, getting a little protection, the total philosophy is the key. The application will be hit or miss depending on what we see as far as matchups, because they're not really, that's the weakest part of their defense is the run game, and they have a small front. So it was beautiful, but it might not play out the same. But the whole idea, run the damn football inside, beat the living hell out of them, and then give to a piece of the pie instead of the whole pie, that works.
Let's You guys want to hear from Tua? We got a little clip here. Let's hear from if I can find it. The winning Tua Tagovailoa as we look in the chat. That Evan's in the chat. Shout out to Evan. Boy, Tua had a ton of quotes today. Let's start with it's overall in the game. Let me get this pulled up.
Feels good. I mean, I would say that was one of the better team wins that we've had in all three phases. Defense allowing us to get the ball back, defense stopping them on third down, us being able to convert those third downs. Outside of that, convert a couple fourth downs to keep us in the game and then allow us to be able to go down and score. That was our goal, I would say, is to not end with 3 as much times as we get down there in the red zone, is to end with 7, and for the defense, vice versa. Not allow them to get 7, allow them to get 3. So I think we did a really good job with that today. And this is sort of the swag I think we got to continue to flow over to the next week.
We're throwing out the swag. Here's
flow over.
Here's the swollen eye thing.
Probably one of the worst experiences I've had in terms of waking up and that happens on a game day, right? My eye was swollen shut, and then, thanks to the medical staff, they ended up helping with antibiotics and whatnot, and so, yeah, I'm just glad I was able to go out there and play.
I want to say real quick, because I'll say it. Dude, when I first saw that first shot of Tua and his eye in the helmet, I said, oh my God, somebody finally had enough and hit this motherfucker. I swear I thought, oh my God, Saturday in the hotel, somebody got to talking and somebody didn't just take it. I was like, oh my God, this team.
Who would it be? Who would it have been?
Yeah, like
Brewer?
Jordan Brooks.
Jordan Brooks.
Yeah.
I want everybody to give me an answer. Sammy, who would it have been?
Aaron Brewer.
Aaron Brewer. Jason?
I'm pleading the fifth.
No! Come on, Jason.
All right, I'll agree with Brooks. Brooks will hit anybody. All right. Brooks can hit anybody. All right. So
Curtis,
I'll go with Jordan.
Who hit him? If it did happen, who hit him, Curtis?
Mike McDaniel with his purse. He love that stuff.
The metal handle hit him, yeah.
The watch, he swung the watch in him.
But he makes a good point, though. It did look like it looked a lot better by the end of the game. Like he had a post-game conference without a helmet on. So I think he's right. I think he did have pink eye, and that the antibiotics started easing that swelling up a little bit by the end of the game, and that's bad news for the Falcons because he was on point today.
Tell you what, after this game, a little nickel's worth of free advice for the Tua Tagovailoa marketing staff. You better call up Oakley and get a visor sponsorship because I don't want that visor ever coming off. All right.
He already said that's another thing. I tweeted it out. He in his post-game press conference, they asked about the visor. He pointed at Waddle. He said, these guys like the visor, so I think I'm gonna keep it around.
Nice. Great job, Bobby, man. You're good at that stuff, man. I don't know how you do it.
Yes,
That's
sir.
great.
There it is.
No, please do not.
Multitasking.
Please, God, do not do that. I don't want to hear it. All right. You mentioned
about the visor.
Yeah. Let's hit the other eye. Whoever it was. McDaniel punched the other eye. It'll work. Talk about the difference in Tua. We all talked about what he has been doing. What all of a sudden you think happened? It's that they actually, and I want to start with you, Curtis, because we've talked about this. Him not throwing with the anticipation and stuff, and he was more on it. I mean, the time how quick he got rid of the ball today was incredible. But it was also open, and was it the run game that they just ran more? Is it simple as they just ran more and the linebackers came? Because you know what I think too, defenses are not going to be as afraid to come up now without Tyreek, right? And this is where if we run with some success, those backers come up. Maybe a safety comes up. We know the Falcons love man cover one. Was it as simple as they brought guys into the run and things were open there for them? Curtis?
Well, just think of it this way. Like all of us know the first time you go up to a girl, especially a very pretty girl, and you ask her out, and your confidence is shaking, and you're going up there and you're trying to say your thing. And
It never worked for me though, so I don't know.
And then and then like, hey, some girl, you're at a bar and you drank a little bit and whatever. It's confidence. There's a whole flow of confidence. And when you know that you're throwing all day, the defense is playing pass all day, they're getting pressure all day, you're operating within 2.5 seconds, and you've got all these bodies, all this pressure. But when all of a sudden you go from 65% of the pie down to about 45, 50% of the pie, a little bit less today. I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy. 27 to 37. That's less than 50%. And you got the defense saying, holy cow, I got to stop this run. Your confidence goes up. You get a breather. You see the defense has lost their confidence. The defense is not attacking. They're reacting. It bolsters everything. And, even like guys like Josh Allen, when they had the fun and gun system the last year and a half, he looked terrible. He was throwing all kind of picks. Dolphin fans are calling him, look, this guy's an idiot. And then a year and a half later, they go to pass balance, and all of a sudden he's Mr. Genius again. There's nobody except a crazy man like Brett Favre, Dan Marino, that could just throw all day. They're just special kind of people. So his confidence was elevated because that defense was like I said, 50% of the time he saw thinned secondaries. I don't know how many men they blitzed, but clearly that's a huge advantage. Rather than when you're getting 80% thickened secondaries, they know what you're doing and you're still getting the pressure. So this run, and also remember, when you're bashing guys and you're running the football, the offensive line feels more comfortable. They don't got to sit and pass protect. They're attacking. That second, that the defensive front is like, is it run? Is it pass? I'm getting tired. It just feeds everything because, like I said before, you're stealing their soul. So it feeds everything. Even a guy on the other side of the computer like me. I was getting excited. My wife's, what the hell's going on in there?
You haven't seen you that excited in a while, huh, Curtis?
Oh,
What's going on in there?
You got to think, though, if you're sitting in the living room and you hear your old man in the next room over going, still their soul, still their soul. Like, what the hell is going on?
Let me in.
Curtis, are you watching Braveheart again?
Great movie. Yeah, it was beautiful, man. It's so beautiful.
It's everything we talked about they had to do. I agree with you guys.
God.
I just didn't know McDaniel was capable of doing it again. You know what I mean? Like that's the great thing. Let's move on to the Ravens game on Thursday. To me, it's don't veer away from what you did in this game. But before we do that, let's talk about. I want to do this short clip of what McDaniel had to say about the trio of backs that he finally, just a quick clip, finally went to.
The runners, in particular on third down, when we gave some run ops, the extra yardage that Ollie and Vaughn were able to get, and the way that Jalen Wright's leg drive was, we were able to incorporate all three, and I thought that helped us a lot for this game for sure.
Yeah, so
that guy brought me down with his talk, man.
Yeah, I thought we lost again for a second. I just seen this funny tweet that somebody said because Tua's been playing bad. He's been throwing interceptions. Somebody said, like the Apple Vision or whatever, where you can see your text messages and shit pop up on the screen in front of your eyes. They're saying that McDaniel was telling them where to throw the ball through the visor.
That meta song.
Yeah, the meta. Yeah.
So going on to the Ravens, let's go around the room here. We'll start with you, Sammy. Ravens, and we're going to give game balls down at the end. Everybody's got to pick, game ball. Finn, Sammy, thank you for that. So we'll start with you. Ravens, short week, do the same, right? Like just no matter what, if you're not running successfully, keep running, run. Same game plan, right? Do we have a shot, Sammy?
Well, if you saw what the way the Ravens played today, it's harder for them to to have a shot. Lamar Jackson's probably going to play on Thursday. He packs the place with family and friends. It would have been a mistake for them to play him today, coming back from injury with only 3 days rest. So they did the right thing. They're preparing for the Dolphins. They feel like they can win the game, and they're going to be prepared to try to win the game. And the Dolphins, after the best game of the season, they should find a way not to, to drop an egg after that. But it's going to be hard. Lamar and the Ravens usually play very well in Miami. I was a while back. I was there. The Dolphins, like Jason said, the Dolphins beat the Ravens that infamous game where Tua came back, and we beat the Ravens a couple of years later after training by so much. But the Ravens travel well to Miami. They play hard, so it's going to be for sure. It's going to be a challenge. They can do it after they. No one can say they can't, but it's going to be a challenge for sure on Thursday and in a short week to beat the Ravens.
Jason,
game ball.
Yeah, no game ball. We'll say that for the end.
Who can win? Who's going to win?
Who can win Thursday against the Ravens? Do we have a shot? What do we do here? Do we? Again the same game plan, like I said. But do we have a realistic shot here against Lamar Jackson coming back versus the Ravens? I mean, short week, we get 2 wins, 3-6. The Hopium might be a little bit back. I mean,
the Hopium probably is returning to some people for sure. I'll try to keep it a mix between the Hopium and the Realium. Look, a quarterback like Lamar Jackson is not necessarily going to be rusty. You know what I mean? He can beat you in a number of different ways. But I'm worried about being able to defend everyone on that team, Derrick Henry, more so than Lamar Jackson almost. So let's see if the defense could replicate this game. And if the Dolphins could put together that run-pass balance as they did today, they could at least be in this game where we're watching a fourth quarter where anything could happen. So I'm not going to go and start the winning streak. I know I said that this is eerily similar to 2021, which right now it is. But if they can build on this and not deviate and take a step backwards, then there's every reason to believe that they should be in this game, in it to win it. So
I'm going to ask you this, Jason, because you said eerily similar to explain to people what happened in 2021.
If you're just joining us, right now, you start off 1-7 in 2021, 7-game losing streak. They got Houston at home. 5 days later, Baltimore on Thursday night. They beat Houston. They have a terrific game against the Ravens, and they end up, rattling off a win streak, albeit going 9-8 to miss the playoffs. But there was a sense of, are we back? Yes, we're back. Now, this could be a little bit of a different
merry-go-round.
Well,
I'm not saying it today.
If they put up a game against the Ravens as they did against the Cleveland Browns, then it's a merry-go-round of mediocrity because you're literally diverting back to the exact opposite, and then we're living in a bizarro world. So we don't want that. But if they can build on this, if they can go back to the positives that they had against the Bills, against the Patriots, beating the Jets, there have been positives. The Panthers game, there were positives. The Chargers game, there were positives. But there were glaring negatives that kept rearing the ugly head up. And if they could avoid that, the Ravens are on a downturn year as well. So is it impossible? Absolutely not. Am I putting the mortgage on that we're going to go with a 2-game win streak right now? Not at the moment. Let's see. Listen, we got to see what happens with both teams in a short week with the injuries. Tomorrow, Tuesday, things are going to come out who might be questionable, who might not be able to go. Storm Duck was helped off the field, so the secondary is going to be even more depleted than it was, So let's see what happens. But
shout out to Rasul.
There's a little bit of a shot of the hope. There's a little bit of a shot of the hope today.
I'll tell you, I want to ask a question on all that, and I just want to say Rasul Douglas, man, is playing outstanding this year. He's been better than Jalen Ramsey. So yes, but I want to ask this before we get into the Curtis and Bobby on the Ravens game. You make a great point here. Let's say it does happen. They do repeat 2021. They go 9-8. Everybody want an answer. Would you change your opinion, and would you bring back Greer and McDaniel if they did that and went 9-8? Across the room, we'll start with you, Curtis, and then Bobby, then Sammy, then Jason.
Maybe McDaniel. Definitely not Greer. It's just too long. It's too much. It's like, you beat me up for 17 years, and then all of a sudden you give me a cheesecake on the 18th. That's like, forget about it, baby.
Cheesecake from where? Wait, cheesecake from where, though? And what kind of cheesecake?
I don't care. Better be some kind of cocaine cheesecake to make you forget 17 years of abuse.
Luckily for me, I've already pretty much answered this earlier. I think today proved. I said this earlier, Curtis. You kind of missed it, and you kind of answered what you think. I think today proved that they're not out on McDaniel. I don't think he's lost the locker room. You can't play a complete as they did today and have those issues going on in the building. Like, this doesn't happen by like happenstance, right? You don't just come out and like dominate a whole football game in the NFL if you're not meant to do that. So if they rattle off 9 wins, that would tell me that McDaniel is their guy in their eyes. They do believe in McDaniel. He didn't let the ship sink. He kind of rallied his troops. He did what a lot of people thought he couldn't do. So that would give me a lot of faith in him. But I also said, much like Curtis, Greer's got to be fired no matter what happens at this point. So that part I am out on. And there's other little topics and positions that they are to debate. We'll leave that for another week because this is a good week.
Yeah, this is a good week. But I want to say this. Both can be true, the fact that they want to play for McDaniel and he still should be gone. Why wouldn't they want to play for him? They're living in a country club environment with a coach that's very easy to play for. To me, I never bought that argument because to me it's like, hey, we love our boss. He lets us do everything. Oh, crap. They're going to fire him? Everybody, let's start working. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe I get. You know what I mean? No. We can't have him gone. That means I actually got to really sweat now. Hey, everybody, get to work. Pretend your old boss is here today. Yeah, that's kind of the guy. Both could be true.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot of football games left too.
I'll answer last. Sammy, go ahead. I'm glad Jason brought this scenario plays out. I know we're going to be positive, but let's just say the scenario does play out. It's happened before. They come back, they win 8-9 games. What's your stance on McDaniel and Greer? Do anything change for you?
Well, one by one, I'm hopeful that Chris Greer takes another position, assistant to the travel secretary.
Making cheesecake. He makes cheesecake.
Assistant to the chef who makes the cocaine cheesecakes. I don't care. But I expect Chris Greer to take another position with the team. I don't think he's gonna get fired. Yeah, he's gonna move on to another capacity. So that leaves McDaniel. If we're getting a new GM, that brings a complete different circumstances because that GM is comes from outside the organization. I was expecting to evaluate McDaniel and makes sense. That would be the right way to do it. So the GM is out. Then you have to give the complete autonomy to the GM to evaluate everyone, including Mike McDaniel. So that put Mike McDaniel basically, if win or lose, it will not matter because the GM will have to make the decision based on the complete scene of the Dolphins right now. So it will be interesting for sure.
Jason, Sonny, you came up with the question. You came up with the idea. Your answer to that, what changes for you if that does happen?
I'll do my best to concisely answer the question. The McDaniel has the edge here because McDaniel is making the necessary adjustments, or today he did, in the personnel that he has been given to by Greer. So the 6 linemen replacing Brunskill for Hill, and being able to get a good game plan to beat a very good defense, one of the best defenses in the league. Hats off to McDaniel. But for Greer, there's been the same question in different forms of what if. What if Greer had a different 2020 draft? Could he have drafted a Jonathan Taylor? What if he had a different offseason in 2024? Could he have re-signed? Should he have re-signed several homegrown Dolphins? Look at this draft. You're down at tight end, but this is a generational tight end rookie class. When you look at how many outstanding rookies there are at that position, you trade out of the 3rd and the 4th round where 9 cornerbacks were selected and they're depleted in the secondary where they could have drafted a cornerback early. You got George, one of our boys, Azariah Thomas, looking good for Florida State. lengthy, tall corner, doing his job, doing well. And again, those tight ends, Oronde Gadsden, Tyler Warren, Harold Fanning Jr., there's just been a lot. Mason Taylor catches his first touchdown pass today. But there have been too many egregious, why didn't he do this situations? Way too many of those more than, oh, I liked what he did here. Oh, great, he extended Jordan Brooks. Yay. Like, that's not moving the needle for me. Jordan Brooks deserves that. You do what you can to keep him in town, but there's been too many egregious misses for Grier. And I agree with whoever thinks that he might be kind of moved to another position. That probably could be the case. But if it were me, I'd offer him a Brinks truck and a non-disclosure agreement and say thank you, but no thank you. Get out of my building. But McDaniel bought himself a lot of, I guess I'll use the word time, or a lot of thought in what's going to happen with McDaniel. But to Sammy's point, if they do bring in a brand new GM, I would hope that the GM would have the absolute autonomy to be like, whatever does happen, it's going to be that new GM's decision, and only that new GM's decision. And what we have to do as a fan base is live with it and hope that it's the right decision. So I hope that answers that.
Yeah, I'm not offering the disclosure or the Brinks truck. I'm offering just my foot up his ass and out the door. I can't. He needs to be. He's been here too damn long. He's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I feel bad what happened to his father, passed away, and all that good stuff. But the Grier part of this is a no for me, no matter what. But I'm also, he's had plenty of time. He'll get a job in the NFL somewhere, but he's had enough time to do this here. He needs to be out, and the scouting department needs to be restructured. But the McDaniel part, I'm sorry to say this, if they win 8 or 9 games, he still needs to be gone. Because remember the feeling we had just this whole year up to now. You'll feel that again in the beginning of next year when we do the same mistake again, and we're sitting here with the same thing over and over again. I think Lo-Fi said it best. We live in a land of what ifs. We can what if ourselves to death with McDaniel. But my question is, what if you bring him back? And that what if is we're going to be sitting here the same thing. I just think this. I've said it, and I don't want to be negative, but I think this whole trio, Tua, McDaniel, and Grier, it's over. This was a nice win, and I love doing this post-game show on a win. I love this team as much as you guys, and I would love to do more. But I think the damage has already been done too much, and I'm just not confident in these guys to, especially even McDaniel. I'm confident in him to stick with this next week. So that's my answer. But let's stick with next week. Who didn't get their thoughts on the Thursday? Was that Curtis? Curtis, next Thursday, this quick game, short week versus the Ravens. Do you think they keep this momentum? Is McDaniel going to keep this? Or if, let's say in the first half of the game, things don't go the way they want and they're down 10-3, will he give up on it? And I think that's the key, right?
Yeah, I got no clue. But the funny part is Baltimore, I think, is like 27th in rushing attempts. I don't know what they're smoking either. Yeah. Somehow they had like lobotomy this year, and then I don't know, man. It's like they just took the brain out. Like, have you ever seen a Charlie Sheen? Like, I can't tangle my brain, that Charlie Sheen thing. It's like what happened to Harbaugh. You got Henry, dude. Why are you banging that thing out? So this really is going to be interesting. It's really the rush attempts is such a massive indicator on success in the macro and the micro. Who's going to be more physical? That defense is not that good. They got a poor rush defense. They got a poor pass defense. There's a chance we could win it. There's a chance we could blow up. There's a chance Mike McDaniel could go back into his shell and go back to screens and running outside. Who the hell knows? Yeah. I don't got a clue, man. I was like taken back by this. I thought I was like, smoking hashish over here. I'm like, whose game is this? Hell planet.
Are you sure you weren't? I wouldn't put it past you.
I'm clear. In the old days, yeah, I thought I was Jim Morrison for a couple of years. But I'm Mr. like clean Gene over here these days, except for East. But it was crazy. I never would have guessed this. You could have said I'd have bet that Elvis was riding in with the aliens to take over the planet before Mike McDaniel would call this freaking game plan, dude. It was crazy.
Shout out to almost 500 people we have on here. Let's get some more likes in this video. Drop the likes, hit the subscribe button. We're almost done here in the post game show. We're wrapping things up. Bobby, quick week. Was this a aberration, or you think the Dolphins found something here?
Yeah, that's up to them to prove, right? So that's what I was talking about earlier. This is awesome today. This is absolutely should be all fired up and screaming. They're still in my soul, and the power should go out.
And the power just went out.
Thursday, we'll see. I mean, like some of you said, the Ravens haven't really been great this year, so like they're definitely beatable. Like they're what 2-5 now, 2-6.
They beat the Bears today, 30-16.
That part ruined it for me. I think if they lose again today before Lamar comes back, they're really feeling it.
21. I mean, Henry was 21 for 71, 3.4 yards a carry, but 2 tutties. So and that was with Tyler Snoop Huntley, a friend, familiar face. They beat they're 2-5 right now.
Yeah, they beat a pretty good team in the Chicago Bears. So I think then you got Lamar coming back. Now he's got this weird thing going on with the hip. Did he practice? Did he not practice? I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, Lamar on primetime is never a great deal. So like that's gotta kind of take anybody's confidence down a little bit. However, the defense played the best game of their year. The feelings are high, the hype is high. So I would love to see them roll it in to another strong victory, have 10 days off. That'd be great for everyone.
Yeah. And as Vince TV, Sammy Ravens favored by 3.5 versus the Dolphins. So yeah, which is fair. That number could shift a little bit. Lamar Jackson is back, and we'll see. We'll see. I want to see. I'm just happy with this game. Young players played well. They showed us what the recipe could look like with Tua. And look, here's the thing: doesn't mean we got to give up on getting a quarterback in the draft next year. Tua's got a $99 million dead cap hit next year. I don't know what's going on with Curtis over there. Curtis, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I was just doing my thing. I was doing
I was out the room. Get him out the room.
Curtis has the Halloween motif right now.
Yeah. The lights. I live in the mountains, so the lights always go out. So they just went out, but I'm on my back up over here. No, I was listening to what you guys were saying, and I was reading this great poem called "Charge of the Light Brigade."
Yes, literature.
Let's go, Curtis.
Listen to this. This is the greatest, dude. You got to go check this out. It's a great movie, too. Half a league onward, all in the Valley of Death, Road 600. Forward the Light Brigade, charge for the guns, he said, into the Valley Death, Road the 600. Forward the Light Brigade. Was there a man dismayed? No, the soldiers knew someone had blundered. There's not to make reply. There's not to reason why. There's but to do or die into the Valley of Death, Road the 600. But ultimately, I'm not going to finish reading the poem, but in historical, they were destroyed, but in their destruction, the English army rose up off that and won the war. So it's a great poem. And the lights came back.
And the lights came.
Wow.
Dude, definitely check.
Right there.
The Charge of the Light Brigade. Great poem.
Great timing.
As the light goes on, you can't script that.
And by the way, Curtis's literature is patented only to the Vince Facebook podcast, by the way. So I'm watching. No, Curtis. But anyway,
I'm a jackass, dude.
Hey, hold on. I don't know about you guys, but like I think that the Dolphins should hire Curtis. I'm ready to run through a brick wall this Thursday against
I'll be the cheerleader, dude. I'll put on the dress with my hairy legs. I'll get everybody into it, man. My hairy bow legs will definitely be sexy in a short dress.
Oh man,
he's our John Gruden,
That deserves a couple of likes and subscribes just on that. All right, let's wrap it up. Game balls here. Start with you, Vince TV, Vince Sammy, game ball.
I'm out of here. I had to say Tua had against the game ball because, with the pink eye, with everything after the worst game of his career, the defense played great. They run the ball very well. My Danny had a good game plan, but it was all on Tua because the pressure was on Tua after so many picks last couple of weeks. So 4 touchdowns, great passing rating. So the game will go to Tua as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Bobby, game ball. You're muted. We can't hear you. Were you cooking there, bro?
Dude, I don't know if I was cooking or not, honestly.
You were cooking, I can tell.
I agree with Tua because all the stuff he's been through with the press conferences, waking up with one eye, going out there and playing that good, that accurate, really just playing good ball after everything. Tua gets one. Then it's cliche, but I'm giving one to the whole front seven on defense. You've been embarrassed, and everyone's taking their turn ripping you one way or the other this season. You go against the best running back in football, and he's a non-factor. So I'm giving it to the front seven. Hope you can do it again next week.
Curtis.
Awesome.
Yeah, I kind of agree with everyone, but I gotta put McDaniel because it was like some wild epiphany, man. He must have been hitting the right stuff this week.
Hey, he wore normal glasses this week. I mean,
I don't know, dude. It's like, all of a sudden he just figured it out and he set the table. Tua definitely, I agree with what Bobby said. I agree with Sammy said. They within that framework of being, beat down, the eyes screwed up, but McDaniel's understanding of, hey, let's run this damn football inside, play physical, set the table for everything. So I'll do a double, Tua and McDaniel, and I throw in Brooks in there in that front.
Yeah, I'll go here. I'll say Jason for last because I'm just going to copy everything and paste what you said about Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, to me, gets a game ball. He did everything we've asked him to do. His bag is his run game ability and his run concepts. It's not the pass concept. They're basic, really, when you think of it. It's just like throwing a lot of motion and stuff. But he went to where he should belong and where this team should belong and this quarterback should belong. And I think he got out of it with the whole proving to a right thing and making to an MVP candidate and all that stuff. I'm going to give it to Mike McDaniel because we shit on him a lot. But, sorry for the language, but we do. So when he does well, we got to be fair. He did really good in this game. And I agree, and Tua and probably Brooks. It's probably everybody's going to have the same game ball. And one with you, Jason, game ball.
Wow, you guys named great players and a coach there, so I'll give two out, and there'll be different people. I'm going to symbolically hand the ball, game ball and future ball, to Ollie Gordon.
Oh.
Ran the ball extremely well. You saw that 20-yard touchdowns. We had like 67 overall yards, 4.7 yards per carry. And I think, Bobby, you said this man takes the soul out of those defenders trying to tackle him. We need more of that power component. And I'll tell you, I'm going to give a game ball on a coaching staff to Anthony Weaver. Defense came to play, elite running back, shut down. And collectively, you look at the time of possession, you got to thank Anthony Weaver for his scheme. 22 minutes of offensive possession for the Atlanta Falcons versus 38 really for the Dolphins. So, Gordon and Weaver.
Curtis, can we give Jonah half a game ball, maybe?
Yeah, he had some good plays. I mean, can't I know.
I'm saying half a game ball.
I'll give it to him. Why not? I got to go over the film. I'm in a good mood. I'm half in the bag, so I might as well say sure.
No. Again,
I
don't know exactly how well he played.
I'm lit up like a Christmas tree.
He's calling it. Little day drinking. I tell you, this post-game show might be the most versatile I've ever seen. All right, guys. Shout out to Frankie. Frankie, how you doing, man? Late to the party, playoff bound. We know what Frankie thinks. Man, shout out to almost 500 people we had watching. Make sure you go back and watch this whole video. We had a positive Frank the Tank. Maybe because the Devils won the game.
Oh, I missed positive Frank the Tank.
Wait. If the Devils would have lost that game.
Jesus Christ.
But thanks to all the people.
Access and Curtis Internet. Yeah, baby.
Finally, he was on too good of a run. But shout out to almost 500 people in total who watched. We appreciate it. It's a short week, so we'll be back Wednesday. We'll preview the game, and obviously Thursday night we'll be right back on the post-game show. You might see some of these faces. Depends if the Dolphins win or lose. That's how Bobby determines he's going to go.
It's not just that. It's like, dude, it depends on how the end of that. I can't just come in here and put my smile on and I put it all on the line when I'm watching football. So it's hard for me to come in here and just flip the monitor on and be like, for 6. Damn, George. I was like, damn. Did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. I can't be here every time you need me, brother. You start paying me.
Hey, Frank does it, man. That's all I got to say. You know
I do want to add one thing, though, while we're talking about the team.
Go ahead.
One thing this year that's really stood out to me, I want to give them credit because they didn't get a game ball, but overall this year, I think our biggest concern was the secondary. And no matter how many pieces move, get injured, however it's been, we really aren't getting beat by, people throwing the ball over the yard on us. The secondary has really played incredible. So I do want to give credit there. We've gotten the ball run down our throat and had no answer for it several times, but there's never been a game where I was like, geez, 70-yard touchdown here, 80. The defense, the back end has really held up, especially considering how it was built. So I do want to give the secondary a lot of love. And Rizul has been awesome. Yeah, man, I remember one time, it wasn't even a big play. He just chased the guy on an out route. The ball was thrown over the sidelines, and he was on their sidelines, and he just took the time to stop and look at the team like.
I wouldn't mind.
I love that stuff, man. People feeling their selves.
Hey, bring him back on a friendly deal next year. I wouldn't mind that on a 1 year.
You can always tell when, especially a vet, is playing confident and playing good ball, because it was a little thing, but I was like, when I seen that, I was like, yeah, Rizul's having fun, man. He's playing some really good ball, man. So shout out to him.
Yeah, he is. The whole secondary has been in. Well, it was nice to see the run defense step up. Well, guys, we'll see you Wednesday night, probably around 8 p.m. to preview the game. Short week, and we'll be back on Thursday night live with the post game. Make sure you guys watch this, share it, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, follow all these great gentlemen. We will see you guys on finally a fun post game celebration. Hopefully, we can do it again this coming week. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the win. Fins up, guys. We are out.
Crime.